What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wars in the Stars, episode number 66. Today, as always, I am joined by Alex. Um,
Yes,
we're going to talk
ma'am.
about Moonknight, episode number 5. We'll talk a little bit about the new announced film by Sony called El Muerto, and talk about what
Yes.
Sony is doing.
Top 10 comic book character right there.
Um, you can't even find 10 appearances of him. And we'll obviously do question of the week. That question will be really interesting, as always. I came up with it this week, so it's going to be less interesting, but still interesting.
No, I didn't have anything because I thought we were going to talk about a lot more, but then as we went through it, wasn't a whole lot.
Right, and then we will finally talk about all the stuff at Cinemacon that's been talked about, shown. So, I'll let my co-host now talk a little bit. Alex, how's your week been? As I fill out the description for this video.
I got to be honest with you, as I'm talking, I'm creating next week's thumbnail. So,
Right, we're always working,
so,
always working.
Yes, and we're working on. I'm about to also be working on
A secret project that we cannot disclose.
multiple secret projects that some of you don't know about. Some we've been planning on working on together, but
We haven't had time. We're both very busy people, so
yeah. Meeting on Saturday with my boss.
ooh, get that raise.
No, not that.
Ooh,
It's the big kind of meeting where I have to call in the owner of our establishments.
okay, interesting.
Talk about some drama. Everyone's favorite thing.
Yeah, right. Especially at a workplace. That's not very good.
Not just any workplace.
Your
Swimming
workplace.
pool.
Swimming pool. Very, very important. Teaching the young generation how to swim.
Yes, ma'am.
Alex and I haven't gotten a chance to like literally. So this is how my week goes. Like I get almost no time now. I used to get a lot of time to, or not a lot of time, but I used to have more time to plan the itinerary. But with baseball, like literally on Monday, I had to be at a JV game to support our JV guys. Yesterday, I had a game at 4, so I didn't get home till 6:30, almost 7. Did homework, and I'm doing work most of the day at school. I'm also getting ready for an AP test. Also had to finish my senior capstone. That's all done, thank God.
Yeah. Also, not to cut you off, check Discord really fast because I just sent you something.
Okay, yeah. By the way, we're just burning time here until I can get this done.
Yeah, basically.
Listen, we are a very prepared podcast, okay?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, have you not seen how professional we are? I'm just gonna tell you what I sent you was next week's thumbnail, like a mock-up that I did. I don't know how I feel about it, but well, I just noticed a problem that I had with the photo being cropped wrongly. So
okay, so you don't feel good about it.
I'm fixing my error, but I'm gonna keep the same but I'm gonna keep the same photo.
Okay, we're all set. I finished my thing. Okay. So yeah, we're busy people, but we got a special project in the works. It's supposed to be done by next Wednesday. I don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah.
Oh my God! And I
Did you spell Moonknight wrong?
I spelled Doctor Strange wrong. It was Doctor Stragne.
Oh man.
Yeah, we've been working on some stuff. I've been working on some stuff. Yeah,
so
can't go to the extent of what yet. If I manage my time properly, can actually probably get both things done before this episode is over.
Oh.
And I'll be able to maybe reveal them.
Oh, a special reveal on the podcast. Okay, they just listened to 5 minutes about us. That's way too long.
Nah, they love us.
They love us. So let's talk about Moonknight episode 5. We talked about it a little bit off air. We did get to watch it together.
I was way too tired to, or I was way too tired, yeah, to be like, yeah, I'm gonna be up for it. Which, by the way, I stayed up till I was gonna text you, but then I was like, oh, you probably went to bed.
You stayed up to 3 to watch it?
Mm-hmm. Because I was when I told you I was too tired, I was like, yeah, I haven't not been like sleeping well the last few days, so I'm gonna try to
Right, so
like
you wanted to get some sleep, and you
and
totally did
then
not get any sleep.
no, I haven't. The 2 hour nap that I took today has been the only sleep I've gotten in like the last 2 days.
So you were literally Stephen Grant right now. You literally have you literally are running on nothing.
Well, spoiler alert, I'm not dead. So
Okay, so sorry, my bad.
sorry, insensitive joke. I know.
Um,
Sue me.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't like 3 a.m. is too tough for me because I get up at 6 usually. So if I went back to bed, I wouldn't get enough sleep. But anyways, yeah, we watched it by ourselves. Again, the show continues to scare the shit out of me in the morning. Um, just with its imagery and stuff. There was nothing terrifying, but seeing just a hippo talk is inherently terrifying. She's cool
Yeah,
though. Tao Red is cool. I rock with Tao Red.
yeah.
I
The
rock with her.
hippo bitch.
Hippo. Okay. Okay.
That's what I kept calling her. I kept going. Where the hell is hippo bitch at?
The whole
Because I could not remember her name.
the whole pamphlet thing was pretty funny. Oh, I don't have a pamphlet for that. That was
Yeah,
so funny.
yeah.
Um. So Alex, what did you overall think about this episode before we get into a spoiler discussion on the things that happened?
This episode, indefinitely, there's now no if, ands, or buts about it, has made this the best Disney Plus show. No question about it.
100%.
I mean, this episode brought it with the action, it brought it with the story, it brought it with the emotion, it brought it with the character work, it brought it with the acting, it brought it with the music, it brought it with the direction. I think that this is the best Marvel Disney Plus episode of all time. I doubt, with all the love I have for Marvel in my mind, that there is any scene that will top this, or any episode that will top this episode.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, when I got done watching, I'm like, the show's supposed to be about a vigilante dude who runs around, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that as like, yeah, this show, it subverted my expectations. And I always get worried when stuff subverts my expectations. Because when you try to subvert the general audience's expectations, sometimes I feel like creators of film and books and any type of media subvert expectations for the sake of subverting expectations. This is subverting expectations of a show, but elevating it. And it was so. We've already grown to appreciate these two characters. We already know a little bit about them. But this episode was like answering those questions, and it gave us so much more emotional weight. Had very good tie-ins to Mark Spector's comics. Obviously, his heritage. Obviously, they Jewish. That was something I saw a lot of people wanted them to touch on, and I think they did a good job touching on that.
Yep.
Enough references. I saw how Tawet mentions the ancestral plane. Obviously, a Black Panther reference right there. And it has a lot of heart, man. That's where it excels. The emotion, like I told Alex before, it's very rare that you find me crying at stuff. I teared up a little bit, and it was the conversation when Mark and Steven Steven's telling Mark it's not his fault, because I really connect with this character of Mark, and it's not because of anything from my personal life. I haven't had nearly as difficult as a childhood as fictional character like Mark has, but just to empathize with that character, like understand why he is the way he is, and like also like how Mark truly does care about Steven. Like Mark wanted to protect Steven from why he's there. So this episode does a really good job. It reminds me a lot of episode 8 of WandaVision, right? How
Yeah.
it's kind of that flashback type of thing. But I think it does a better job of doing so. And I'm not taking anything away from WandaVision. I just think this episode was fantastic. It was perfect. And again, it does a really good job of, you would think the thing that was made up in his mind is the fact that he's talking to a hippo goddess. There was two of
Yeah.
him now, and
Two.
he's somehow in two,
Two.
possibly three. That there is, he's in the afterlife somehow.
Yeah.
But we think as an audience that's what's actually happening, and the thing that's not happening is a conversation with a therapist, right? At an insane asylum. Um, and I don't know what's true. Like they could, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they totally say, "Yep, this all happened in his head." I think it'd be stupid, but it would be really cool and really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but again, parts of it could be true. I mean, who knows? Who knows? So I like how it's still keeping us on the edge of our seat. We kind of know more than we did last week, of course. But man, this is a really, really strong episode. It's gonna be my highest rated episode when I rate it at the end. But I want to first, before we get into the episode, there's been some controversy online about this episode, Alex. There really has, actually.
Really?
I've seen some people saying that, oh, well, this is a good episode, but it does a poor job of setting up the finale. Do you have any thoughts on that statement right there that people have been making?
Okay. The thing with the finale is it was set up in this episode. On the boat when they were writing it with Hippo Bitch. They were literally talking about how she said that there were a bunch of souls coming in, more than unusual. And I think it was Mark even said Harrow.
Right.
So we know where it's heading. The next episode is going to have Mark free Khonshu, and then he's going to go stop Harrow. Now, is Steven going to come back? Maybe. But we have known where the show is going to go. We knew where point B was. We just needed to know how we were going to get there. Now, did any of us think that we were going to be going down a trauma dump of an episode? No. But this definitely wasn't a case of, I honestly feel, and I think the best way to set up episode 5 didn't set up the finale was Hawkeye. As much as I love that show did no setting up for the finale, in my opinion. And I honestly feel like every other show did that too. But this episode, I think, is clear and cut what's next. I don't think there's anything that they could do except go fight Harrow.
Right. I mean, the only thing Mark has to do is find a way to get out of the afterlife.
Yeah. I mean, that's really.
And then he has to fight Hero. And I don't like this show. While the action has been good, what I like about it, it's been limited. It hasn't been. And I like Falcon. I think it's one of the more underrated, but it has a lot of action, like almost too much action. So like I don't need to be oversaturated with it. I don't need to see Hero flying around with his cane, Moonknight jumping through the sky.
Flying around with this cane. Is he a witch?
yeah. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that for like an hour.
Oh my god, I want to see that so bad too. Now you've got me actually wanting to see Hera with his little omelet stick going around.
I think people need to realize like that, because people say with everything now, like with Mandalorian season 2, they're like, how do you fit all this into episode 8 of the Mandalorian of season 2? Well, they did it in 46 minutes, and it's probably the best piece of Star Wars in the Disney era, right?
Yeah.
With, WandaVision. I don't think the finale is great, but they fit it all. It's like people, they'll get it in. Boba Fett. They're not great, but they'll get it in. And I've seen some people like, oh, the show's kind of an L now. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion, of course, right?
Yeah.
It's subjective. and I understand, this is not people's cup of tea, but um, I don't like that statement. I don't think the purpose of episodes is just to be set in.
Oh no. Drew! Drew! Meow! Oh no. I can't hear you. 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 Man, do you think if I say it loud enough, do you think you'll hear it? Drew, I can't hear you. I don't think you heard me. Oh no! Guys, I'm the only one here. Hope you had a fun time, had a fun show. I for some reason got unsubscribed from our YouTube channel. You guys should subscribe. So solo show today? Question mark. Solo show. I think Drew just texted me. His internet died. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of where Drew was talking about the discussion of the Moonknight finale, people not liking it. And it was like what Drew was saying. You're entitled to your own opinion, but I think such a harsh judgment of thinking that just because you don't see the full picture of the finale, meaning it's absolutely garbage, I think it's a little premature. I think you're putting I think you're kind of judging the ball a little quickly. You're kind of sending your judgment out. Like, do we need to get Amit to judge you? Because like you're judging a book off its what's the saying? Never judge a book by its cover. You're judging this cover or this book based off of a cover that maybe you just didn't get. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the finale set up well. I think there's an obvious road that we're going down. It's going to be the confrontation with Harrow. If I had to give a quickie finale prediction, I do think we're going to get Steven coming back to Mark. But I think because he goes back for Steven, our other bestie, Jake Lockley, comes with him. Oh, hi.
So sorry. I am so sorry.
Wow. I knew I was being boring. He fell asleep while I was talking, turned his computer off.
Sorry. Damn it. I hate when that happens. Okay, what were you talking about?
Gave a small finale prediction about what's going to happen, and that's confrontation with Harrow, which I thought was already kind of obvious.
Right. So obvious.
So
I don't even know what I was saying. Jesus Christ, man. I hate when that happens.
You were talking about the finale, people not being happy about it being set.
Oh, right. I was just giving my overall thoughts, like the fact that like the purpose of a penultimate episode shouldn't be to set up the finale. It should be to tell its own individual story that still builds up to the finale. It's not its job to just set up the finale. Because if you're just looking at then it seems like you're just looking at the beginning and the end and not the middle where the important stuff happens. So like that's how I feel about that. Just the way people word it sometimes. I don't think there's a problem with wanting a better setup for the finale, but like I just disagree with the premise and the assessment there. There is another thing I want to talk about. Or do you want to talk about something? Is there something pressing you about this episode?
I love this episode. I give it an easy 11 out of 10.
I'd give it a 9. I have a hard time giving things 10. So
this is the first thing I was just upon the first watch. I was like, "Yep, that is a 10 out of 10 episode."
So what do you think is real?
I think
everything is fake.
I think everything going on the boat is real, and I think everything going on with Harrow is made up.
So, my question then would be,
I'm sorry, I have the
Mark.
Joker in the other room laughing.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's good. All types of issues here at Wars in the Stars.
Yeah.
Do you think this is made up in his head then?
The stuff with Harrow or the stuff on the boat?
Stuff with Harrow.
Yeah, I saw a video. It was actually a really cool theory. All the stuff that we saw with um Mark, with like when he has the bloody nose, like right here,
Okay.
people think it was Jake. Now,
So,
hear
yeah.
me out with that. I think that'd be very weird to say, "Oh, that's been Jake all along."
Right.
Because here's the thing: is we know Jake is another. We know Jake is his third alter.
Correct.
It's almost confirmed that Jake is the psychopath murderer of the three.
Yeah.
So, my thing is this, and this is what I want to ask you
So
about. Like,
wait.
the
So
theory.
wait. People think Jake was
Jake is the
beaten.
one talking to Harrow. Like, apart from when he turns into Steven.
Okay. So, does this go back to the specific scene where like he tries to pull the knife on Harrow?
Yeah,
Okay.
scenes like that.
Because they were saying his accent is a little bit different, and he doesn't.
Yeah,
He's a little more
he
aggressive.
yeah he talked a lot more like pointed at Harrow.
Right.
So yeah, I could
Yeah, but
see it. I feel like again, I just feel like it'd be like very very weird to add that in right now.
I just think having like I like the teases, and I especially think this show deserves season 2, and I think it'd be the best way to tell a Moon Knight story to continue a story in the MCU. Feige, I hope you're watching this while you're on your retreat.
Yeah,
I'm
making
giving you
10
advice
more
here.
years of MCU projects.
Yeah, I'm giving you advice. Continue to do Moon Knight story through individual television shows because I feel like this character. Well, I'm excited to see the eventual Midnight Suns, whatever it may be. I think his story is best suited. Like, I have a hard time right now. I think it's gonna be funny. It's gonna make for funny moments when like it goes from Mark to Steven. Um,
Yeah.
but like I think this character works the best by himself. I until I see him on screen, I'm sure Oscar can act with others. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think his story is best told Moon Knight's in just a show like this. I think just a small. It's not a small scale thing. It's kind of big. Obviously,
I kind of
hit
rewinded the stars 2,000 years.
and plus heroes like trying to kill like most of the Earth.
Yeah,
Because
that too.
that too. Um, so yeah, I kind of want a story to be told just through a show. And, I'm excited for him in the Midnight Suns, but like
You
I
know,
feel like
I have to ask you, by the way, I'm sorry to cut you off here. Do you think Harrow comes back for season 2?
no.
You don't think so?
I would love if he did, because I think Ethan Hawke has killed it as Arthur Harrow. Like, Harrow is. I don't want to. Top 10's hard to get on, man. The top
Uh,
10 list,
yeah, I mean,
hard to get on.
when we talk about best villains of the MCU, the obvious come to mind: Thanos,
Killmonger,
Loki,
Loki,
Ultron, um,
Vulture.
Vulture, Wenwu. Um, you know, when I think of if I had to create like a big thing of like
Zemo.
here's my like when I think of villains of the MCU here, I think of Zemo, Goblin. I think of Thanos. I think of Wenwu. I think of uh, Cross from Ant Man. I think of Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
I think of
That's
obviously
a super
Malekith.
underrated villain, too. That was a good pick. Cross.
Yes, yes. And what I love about him is, you know, I kind of like that he kind of is like him and Arthur have a lot in common. You know, they feel wronged by the people who were essentially their masters,
Correct.
and then now the new rampage that they're on, they put in their names. Like, I mean, Arthur straight up told the Ushamti, or however you say it, of
Shopti,
Khonshu
yeah.
that he blames Khonshu for what he's about to do.
Right.
So, that in my opinion is what makes a good villain, and what I think Arthur is a top 10 villain. I think if I had to rate him like on that list, I think he'd be a good 10 to 7 in that range.
Yeah, I'd put him like just in my head right now.
Yeah.
Like low top 10, like upper, like probably between like a 13 and 9 range. I think it's appropriate.
Oh, that's rude. He's so good.
Probably closer to the 11, 10, 9. Because what I appreciate about Hero is I disagree with you a little bit, is I see him more as a Thanos. All right, not in his physical power, right? But his mystical, his philosophy. What's always what's fascinating to me about the show, and it comes from episode 2, is still that dialogue between Stephen and Arthur about the debate about the ethical nature of Harrow's ideas. While Harrow is coming from a place of wanting to create a better world, he's doing so by committing the same acts he wants to prevent, right?
Yeah.
He talks about in that same episode, like he makes an analogy that like killing people is ethical, like killing children is ethical. Like he makes those arguments, and you see through it. But Harrow is such a good villain that he makes those ideas almost sound good, just by the way he talks and by the way he maneuvers. But really, we know as the audience that he's super manipulative. While he may be right about Khonshu, he's definitely manipulating the other Egyptian gods and their avatars. He is, pulling the string, essentially, right? He is just playing the long game, pulling the string, kind of like Thanos. He let everyone else do everything, pulled the string, and then finally came out. And they didn't succeed with that. Thanos didn't succeed with that plan. I don't think Hero will, with his final act of killing Moonknight. And
which also I gotta say, I loved how they put saying Moonknight in there. You will be my Moonknight.
Oh, I love that scene so much.
Yeah, it's also a thing that like we already knew the relationship between Mark and Khonshu is not a good one, but to just like we already knew something was up about the relationship, but to just get that confirmation that he is manipulating Mark, and Mark knew the entire time. Such a sad thing. I mean, poor Mark. I mean, we haven't even really delved in deep into that thing. I mean, you got to think this man has lived with the guilt that he led to his brother's death.
Right.
And then in that, in that trauma, he literally creates Stephen Grant to deal with it. Right.
He wasn't comforted by his family, and that moment of I can't imagine the fear, frustration, pain, all those things. He was cast away. Like the worst thing you could literally do was cast away. And his dad tried, right? His dad tried to help, but he couldn't heal those wounds.
Yeah,
his brother became abusive, and to deal with those problems. And it's obviously like how his career choice happened, right? He went into the military and then he got kicked out, and then he became an assassin, essentially. And then the servant of Khonshu. Like the only way he can get justice is through vengeance. Very much mirrors, Bruce's story. Yeah, right. Very much mirrors Bruce's story. I was going to say that. And I really love that aspect, right? Because it's very well portrayed and accurately done. But, and I've seen a lot of people say in the first 4 episodes that, like, Mark's kind of a dick. And I'm like...
after this episode, can you blame him?
That's kind of the purpose of his character. It's like, you gotta understand why he's the way he is. What makes him tick? Like why is
Yeah.
he prone to being so uptight, so secretive? Um, Mark's. I mean, Steven's a social butterfly, right? That's what he's meant to be because uh, Steven's been raised like that, right? He
Yeah.
was raised with that, like thinking his life was perfect. Um,
That he lived a loving, caring life with a great mother.
right. And it was just so sad to like see. Like
Yeah.
that scene where she comes in is about to whoop him and then it's the first time he ever like switches personalities. And I really like how like they do it. And I'm not sure if this is accurate with dissociative identity disorder that it gets I'm not gonna say worse over time, but it's harder to switch your personalities back and forth. I'm not sure if that's an accurate
Yeah.
portrayal or that's what they did for the show. Um, but I really like it better than what our theory was that it was a side effect of becoming Moon Knight.
Yes. I like that. I like that. Yeah. I like that it was a thing to suppress trauma. I think that it like humanizes both Steven and Mark to the point that's like, yeah, I mean, we already knew that they were already very human, obviously, but I think now that you make it a thing that Steven was created to be, to take the wheel whenever trauma would start to happen, you know, you got to question like, did this happen all the way until Mark was an adult? Whenever he transformed into Steven um, before he really got a grip onto things, was that just whenever he would turn into uh, Steven, would that be a thing just to deal with trauma, like the
Right,
stuff with Layla's dad?
right.
So
But
it's so good. The story really develops it. Also, by the way, like you know, just that whole thing with when the mom is like when he comes downstairs and he sees his mom and she's like, it's your fault
right,
and whatnot. And we get the most important character in the whole story's true backstory, Gus the fish. We get his backstory during all this. It was much needed. I needed to know where he came from.
right. But it was really interesting to see that the moment that he finally lost control, like that's such a sad moment too. Like his mother's died and his father's always tried to be there, but like
Yeah.
again, like I said, just he couldn't heal those wounds and he's outside and he's drinking and he just breaks out. And Oscar Isaac, man, like he's
Sorry,
fantastic.
but Lucas, yeah,
Going from
Lucas.
the British comedian to the emotionally unhinged warrior Moon Knight to uh, the emotional Mark Spector to the mentally out of it Mark Spector and Stephen Grant. It's just so good, so fantastic. Like I
Um,
felt the weight of his emotions in that scene. And it's one of my favorite scenes in all of I think Marvel television so far, the Disney Plus shows. It's just so well done. And then Steven being right there, like comforted him. Like Mark needed to hear that. Like, it's not your fault. Like you were a kid, you didn't know. He never got that. He never got that uh comfortability. So like it was really nice to see. And then it was also really sad on the other hand. And I think I will say my one critique maybe was like the show, or maybe I'd have to go back and watch, but I don't think it maybe was a big enough emphasis that Steven thought he was the one who was in control. Um,
uh, are you saying like in terms of like the entire show?
right, yeah, because it's like Steven was like really upset about the fact that he was like just created.
I mean, you have to think like when we first meet Mark, Steven talks about him, piecing out and whatnot. So
Right,
you got to think from Steven's point of view, if he's talking about piecing out when all this stuff is done, I mean, I think, in my opinion, that would signal to me that he's talking about like not coming back and that he was the one he's the original.
Okay, that makes sense. But just from, I feel like there could have been a little bit more emphasis on that, or maybe I'd
Yeah,
have to
sure.
go back and watch. Um, but yeah, that was also, it wasn't as heartbreaking. This episode did a really good job with Mark. It's easily the best Mark installment. And I think we've discussed it. Steven's been the best character in the show.
Yeah.
Um, at most points. And this episode, I think I gotta say Mark's the better character now. Like, I mean, I love them both, but like,
Yeah.
um, Mark's story is much more fascinating to me. And then the end, obviously, right? Um, the scales don't balance. Okay, so and I love Steven, man. This guy goes out there, knocks them all out, then gets thrown overboard, and is now dead. He's dead, right?
R.I.P. R.I.P. Best character in the whole damn story.
And Mark is now in the most beautiful place on not on Earth, in
No,
the
yeah,
afterlife.
I was gonna say not on Earth, but
The
near
afterlife.
near enough Earth.
But the scales tip for him when Steven I don't know. What do you think's going on there?
I don't know because when I first thought about that, I was like, oh, is it saying that him creating Steven made him unbalanced?
Right.
But then I thought, wait, that seems that seems very
Unfair to
heartless.
Steven.
No,
That
no.
feels
That feels very heartless to people with dissociative identity disorder, being like, your other alters, yeah, they actually make you a bad person.
right. They have to die. They
They
have to die.
have to. You actually have to kill your alters, like
Right.
in their sleep.
Correct.
And it's just like, okay, that's it's a weird decision to go,
Yeah.
but I think the reason why his scales ended up balancing was that maybe he was able to finally reconcile with the creation and death of Stephen to suppress his traumas.
That's what I was about to say. Like, finally accepted Steven's
Because the
role, I
thing,
guess you would say.
yeah, I mean, because my thing is like, when I am thinking about like how this, um, when I'm trying to think about like what the purpose of Steven's death is, it's obviously going to be a motivation factor for Mark.
Right.
But then I think about it, it's like, I don't know if I would want a season 2 if Steven's not part of it. Because the big thing about Moonknight and the whole thing about his comic run is it is about him accepting his other identities. It is about Mark accepting Steven and Jake.
Right.
And now I feel like if you kill off Steven and keep him killed off, now I just feel like you kind of threw out a really potentially good storyline with accepting
I agree.
not accepting just Steven, but all three of them accepting each other.
Yes. So my thing is like I think the scales finally tipped, finally balanced when I think he's always been like, Steven's there, but Steven's there as a coping mechanism, not as an actual person. Now it's like, well, Steven's been very aware. Steven's like living his own life. Um, and then when he finally fell overboard, he accepted him. That's when he consciously went after him to try and save him. That's when he finally accepted him. So what I feel like is gonna happen is because wasn't Tawet supposed to help them get back to reality, but she said she couldn't do it. Be very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember exactly what.
She didn't have a pamphlet for that, so
No, she didn't have a
that's
pamphlet for that, but what did she say? I don't remember what she said.
but I think because
Not good.
now oh my god, Alex. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Um but now okay. Whatever. Okay. So I think that but we see him still dead, even though the
Oh my
scales are
god.
balanced.
I'm watching the stream on my other monitor, and it is just lagging balls, like here and
You
there.
are. You are.
Well, yeah, I don't know why. Hold on,
Um.
let me try a theory out.
Okay.
I'm testing a
Welcome to
theory.
Wars of the Stars, where we have technical difficulties. My Wi-Fi cuts out, and Alex can't get this thing straight. Okay.
Okay, my theory was disproven. I was wondering if it was because I clicked on my other screen, and so it was just making my main screen f up. But no, no, that's it. No, that's it. Okay, so I'll make sure I'm clicked onto this screen then. Yeah, I'm not having any audio problems, right? I sound fine. I'm not.
You sound fine, but like your camera, like you will say something, but the words come out before your mouth actually moves.
Well, look, the alternative is this kind of camera.
I mean, that doesn't look as bad.
It look as bad. That shit is being on recorded by a Samsung toaster from 20 years ago. Maybe I should just start using this as a camera. Just like this. How do you think?
Are you looking at? You can't even see me right now.
No, I'd have to look over this way.
Well, do whatever you want to do. Okay, there he is. Oh, whoa.
Hold on. Oh my god, I can see it on the stream. Oh my god. Makes me want to cry.
You're good now.
You know what? I know how to solve this. I know how to solve this. Hold on.
Please not the Chris Pratt.
Hold on. I don't know what is going on right now, but something's happening. There we go. Easy solution. Easy solution. Look there. Oh, do we want when we're done with Moonknight, I have to reveal something, but I don't. I really like this as my background.
Okay. Wow. This show is unreal. Okay. Can we get back?
Fine. Unreal. Unreal how just normal we are.
So how do you think he gets Steven back?
I think, what if the fight happens with Harrow in the afterlife realm?
What if Amit also cast out Harrow as well? That would be funny. That would be a Rick Roll moment. That would be good. You know what? You too have also killed people, so now you also must die. The scales do not balance for you.
Yeah, could you imagine, by the way, if Arthur Harrow was just like, he was bored one day, and so he put the thing on his wrist and started balancing himself out, and then the scales didn't balance. He was like, oh no.
Maybe. It might happen in the afterlife.
Dad. Oh no.
Or it could all happen in his mind. That would be trippy.
What if? Ooh. This would be a really, really fucked up theory. But I think it could be a good story point.
Okay.
What if he's trying to, well, after fighting Harrow, maybe something happens to Layla. He tries to recreate Steven. And that's how we get Jake brought in. Is a failed attempt to bring Steven back.
I like it. I do think we get Steven back. And I don't think we necessarily... I think the after credit scene will be finally revealing Jake. It's where I'm kind of leaning towards now.
Yes. It's so weird that we have not got a post-credit scene on any episode yet.
I feel like Jake will be the post-credit scene. It would make a ton of sense. Because him being inserted into the show now would feel out of place. Like, even though we've gotten hints at him, it would feel very out of place because the show's... Even though we've gotten that scene with him where, like, he kills uh, Hero's men, and he's in the sarcophagus. Obviously, feel like it'd be a little out of place, especially how much we've emphasized Steven and Mark's development to just say, we've got the ultimate killer right there in that corner in that sarcophagus right there. Jake Lockley.
Honestly, I have a question for you also about Jake. So Steven got the Mr. Knight. Mark
Yep.
gets Moon Knight. Do you think Jake gets anything?
Nope. I think
You
he's
think-
just straight up killer.
You know what I would say if Mark or Jake doesn't get his own costume? Hold on. This bit is gonna load here in a sec. It's loading. It's loading.
Okay.
Hold on. It's still loading. Maybe I should just keep this as my background.
Okay, let's.
There we go. This is my new mommy.
Oh,
Hi.
you have been unreal today. You sounded just like her too.
This show has me on so many problems right now.
This has been an unreal episode of Wars in the Stars.
It has been a good talk. This episode was so good.
Really
we haven't
funny,
even
really.
got into like. Okay, I have to say, I don't like this shit on children actors. I think two people that they got to play like younger Marks weren't it. Like they didn't look or even semi-resemble Oscar Isaac, especially like the teen one.
I thought they were fine. They were only in a couple scenes. I'm really not going to complain about kid
No.
actors.
I'm
I know you're not. I know you're not trying to be like.
I'm not gonna do what some people have done recently and go attack people for some stuff. About to be on. That's
Right.
besides the point.
Right.
Nah. I just.
Well, they were fine. Thought they did their job. I got emotional because of. I didn't get emotional in those moments, but I felt the emotional weight
Yeah.
just based off of the way the scene was shot and not
Yeah.
necessarily the acting.
It
You
was so.
don't always feel the weight of a scene based off of the actor itself. You can feel it based off of the tone, where the show's going, the way it's shot, visuals, cues, other stuff like that. So, like,
I
think they did a good job.
What I felt was really, 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 really weird is, we've gone, I don't even know how many episodes, but it was so weird having to see Mark, like, do the thing where he, like, rolls his eyes back for Steven to take over. Because we haven't seen that in, like, what feels like for fucking ever.
Forever. Now, another interesting idea is, what if Mark and Steven just become two different people? I'd hate that.
I'd hate that because, like, that is a huge slap in the face to people with DID.
Because I think the whole purpose of these latter half of episode 4 and this whole episode was obviously them to figure out why they're connected so they can finally be in balance, essentially, and care for each other. Like, in those moments, they actually cared for each other on the boat when they're about to die. And that was a nice another detail. Like, Mark's killed all of these criminals, but for what? What reason has he done it? Just because Khonshu wanted him dead?
Justice.
By the way, I think season 2 should be about them killing Khonshu, if I'm being honest with you.
What?
Yes. Screw that man.
What? How dare you?
It happens in the comics, right? I'm pretty sure they all kill Khonshu.
Khonshu's my boy.
I like Khonshu. He's funny. He's very funny.
He's my he's my he's my emotionally abusing
oh god.
boy. Hold on.
Yeah. Do you got anything else you want to talk about? We talked about the suit up that we like. The suit up. Ooh, so good, so good. Still love the white eyes, man. They pop so well. This whole suit, so beautiful.
Yes.
We talked about the ancestral plane. We talked about the boat stuff. Talked about the asylum. Talked about Hero. Talked about where it could go. So I guess without further ado, let's give our wrap up, I guess, on it. Like your
11 out of 10 episode.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's the best episode. I have a hard time giving things 10s. Icarus, interesting. Did you show Icarus because you're upset with my rating and you want to laser beam 2 extra points?
You want to see what I want to do to you?
Just pop his head off?
Yeah.
Nice.
You want to know what else I'm going to do?
Can you do the arm first?
Nope.
Okay.
Just the arms and head.
So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Really solid. Everything was really well done. Cinematography was really well.
Okay, can I ask?
Show's beautiful.
What would you have done to make this a 10 out of 10 episode? What would you have changed?
It's one I'm going to need to think a little bit on, so I'm going to kind of talk it out as I'm thinking about it. So basically for my rating, it's hard for me to get a 10 out of 10. Actually, let me look. Because since Spider-Man No Way Home, for every movie, I write down what I think on every ticket. So No Way Home, I gave a 9 out of 10. Okay. And I did that because the first act wasn't fantastic. It was fine. First act wasn't fantastic. The Batman, I gave a 9 out of 10 because I think there were some parts I didn't love.
Slow bits. Laters, gators.
With this, I think the only thing I would say was what I mentioned earlier. Like, maybe, and this doesn't even have to do with the episode itself. It kind of has to do with the show. And maybe I gotta go back and watch it again, like I was saying earlier. I feel like wasn't well enough established that Steven thought he was in control.
Was.
I just disagree. Maybe I gotta go back and watch, but like I always felt like we as an audience obviously knew that wasn't the case, but Steven, I feel like it wasn't well established for Steven itself. That's just my take on it.
Yes,
and I think the other thing
absolutely
is really nothing. It did everything really, really good. It's hard to get a 10 out of me. A 10 is like perfect. Like it does everything perfect. And it has an equal amount of stuff that I love. This didn't quite have that. It's still great. A 9 is fantastic. So 9 out of 10. If I gave everything I love this much a 10 out of 10, I'd have a lot of 10s.
Nope. I wouldn't. I think, because here's my thing also. The reason why I give it a 10 is I'm giving it a 10 for Disney Plus shows. I'm not giving Moonknight as a series a 10. Like, I can tell you straight up now, I don't care how good the finale is. I couldn't give this whole series a 10. But I would say, like right now, before we move on to our other topics, like what is your ranking for these Disney Plus shows right now without the Moonknight finale? Because I think we're going to either, because I know we're not going to have the same list, but I think we're going to have the same top two. Moonknight,
Loki, Falcon,
WandaVision.
Hawkeye.
No, Hawkeye.
WandaVision.
I keep forgetting Hawkeye was a thing, and I don't know why.
And I think, so if I were to put them in tiers, tier 1 would be Moon Knight and Loki. Then I think tier 2 is Falcon, and I think tier 3, and it's almost, I'd say mid to low tier of the MCU as a whole is Hawkeye and WandaVision. I think, especially Hawkeye, man, that show keeps getting worse and worse for me every time I think about it.
Guys, remember, it's okay to have opinions, but not wrong ones. I'm joking, Drew. I'm joking.
Maybe have the show be about the character it's called, or have him be the best character.
It's about Kate Bishop, Hawkeye.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, I was on Twitter, and that was genuinely people's complaint, is that they didn't focus enough on Kate. People were complaining that it focused too heavily on Clint. And I said maybe we watched different shows, because
it's a whole nother discussion, man.
It's a whole nother discussion. Kate got the whole premiere to herself. Or just about.
So yeah, Moon Knight. It's our favorite MCU Disney Plus show. Wow, it's our favorite MCU Disney Plus show so far, and we're really excited to talk about the finale. Could be a big Marvel week next week.
Yes, it is.
Um, for
Which
our
did
show,
you check that unfinished thumbnail?
it looked good.
Do you want to see the other things that I was working on?
Yeah, is this like an official announcement? Do I have to pull something up here?
If you want, I'm not
Uh,
gonna
can
force
I
it.
can I announce this as an official announcement or?
I would want you to look at them before you said anything.
Okay, just send them to me and tell me what's up.
Hold on, I should probably
Y-
full screen this.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, this one isn't done. I'm still in the works of it, but it's almost done.
The one you just sent me.
The one I'm sending now. It's still being worked on, but this is where I'm starting at right now.
Okay.
So nothing yet, but these are some of the things I'm working on. This isn't all of them.
Yeah, we'll reveal these.
When they're
We'll
done.
tell you guys. We'll tell you guys.
This is
They
currently
look
where I'm at.
great, by the way. The top one looks great. I like it.
I'm gonna tell everyone now. It has Nebula on it, and some of the wording is cutting Nebula's face off.
That is true.
And Clint's face has also gotten cut in half. I might pick a different thing. I don't know yet. It's hard because I want those words on it, but it's hard to like not cover people's faces up.
Got it. Okay, you guys will figure that out. But yeah, let's now move into the question of the week.
Ooh, I did not make it this week. You
I
did.
came up with it. So, Monday on my TikTok, I made a TikTok. Wow.
TikTok.
I talked a little bit about Andor and some of the news rumors we've gotten out of that. It's reportedly supposed to start filming season 2 in November, but the important stuff is the fact, and this comes to us from Bespin Bulletin, that the Imperial Royal Guards will be in the show, and then a YouTuber by the name of Star Wars Meg. She's great. She makes great daily videos. Shout out to people who make daily videos. Shout out to her. She had a
Couldn't do it.
scoop that Mas Amida is going to be in Andor, and we also heard rumors a while back that Coruscant was going to be in the show. So, for question of the week, episode 11, I want to ask you, Alex, do you want to see more political elements like the prequels in Andor? So, I'm talking about seeing like the Imperial Senate, what's going on in the political world of Star Wars.
You want me to answer if I want to see the Senate himself?
The
Of
Senate
course,
himself and the Senate in general.
he is the Senate. He's everything.
Correct.
He's every single politician ever. Okay. I want to say yes, really, really badly,
Okay.
but I'm going to say for now, no. Now, and the reason why I feel this way, just give me a quickie here. Just because of the modern political climate, I don't want to see it, because then we get into the thing of Star Wars is too political now. Star Wars is too political. Why are we putting politics in Star Wars? Star Wars is for kids. Why are we putting politics in Star Wars? Stop pushing this agenda on me. I don't want these politics in my Star Wars. Just give me laser swords. Give me the voom vooms. Give me the poo poos. Give me the That's my that's
your
my
impression of a Twitter user.
yeah. Which, by the way, if you hold that sentiment, I gotta be honest with you, you must be a new fan of Star Wars, and you must have only watched one movie, because literally the entire prequel trilogy is politics.
I mean, look at the Phantom Menace, bro. It's literally about a blockade and a trade federation.
Literally, the opening crawl.
It's about trade.
We went from talking about Luke Skywalker returning home and the second Death Star is in construction, to a blockade above Naboo and ambassadors and stuff like that.
So you're gonna say no based off of just the
Other
social
people.
climate.
Yes.
That's fair. I am going to say yes. I want to see it in the show. Now, while the prequels struggle with the politics, right? It's very drab. It's very boring. I mean, that's just politics in general, but it's not very well done. Okay, it's kind of hard to take serious when Jar Jar Binks is a representative. Okay, I can't lie to you there.
He was the Senate.
It's kind of hard when Jar Jar is a representative to take it serious. But the whole idea of Palpatine pulling the strings behind the political scene is obviously very captivating, really
Yeah.
interesting part of the prequel trilogy. With Andor, like I said, I'm gonna say yes. Um, Even though, like I said, George struggled with it in the Clone Wars as well. Regarded those episodes are pretty boring. I mean, the stuff with Clovis and Padme is good, and that involves a lot of politics.
Yeah. That talks about banks.
Right. That talks a lot about banks. Um, I do want to see it. Like, I want to see what the politics of the Empire are. We've seen a lot of the Imperial Navy and military, how they operate, how it's through brute force, how it's through numbers. They don't care about soldiers. They just care about getting the job done.
Yes, man.
And I want to see what the politics are like. How does Palpatine run the Senate? What are the Senate meetings like compared to the Republic? Bail Organa's, rumored to be in it. Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
So I want to see him. How does he operate? How does Mon Mothma operate? We know she's going to be in Andor. So how does the Senate work and stuff? It would be, I think it'd be a missed opportunity. It's a perfect show to do it. You have 12 episodes, and I'd love to see how the politics of the Empire influences Cassian's story. You could perfectly tie that in. What laws are they passing? How have senators changed? How has Coruscant changed itself? We didn't get a lot of the core of Coruscant during the Empire. We haven't.
No.
I'm pretty sure if I think about it, there's literally, I mean, there's stuff in the comics,
Yeah.
but there's
That's really
only
it.
one. There's only one shot in the original trilogy of Coruscant. That's at the end of Return of the Jedi.
And that wasn't even an original shot from the movie. That was
Correct.
an add-on around the time of, I think, either the Phantom Menace or Revenge of the Sith is Revenge of the Sith release.
Yeah. So I am totally down because I think it'd be really, and it could be cool to see Palps. It'd be a cool way to
Yeah.
tie that in without Palps having to be like a Sith Lord in Andor. It could be just him running the Senate.
And it could
I think
be
it'd be really cool to see.
It could be another thing also that we have to remember during this time. Palpatine is running the facade, by the way, that there's propaganda around him still being a young man or
Correct.
old man. And so how would that look? Because we kind of saw it in Rebels when he was trying to make Ezra, help him again open the world between worlds.
Right.
So I think that I mean, look, again, the fan in me, of course I want to see more politics in Star Wars. I honestly think that some of the most interesting bits is when they bring politics into Star Wars.
Right. It just hasn't been well executed yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that I'm not ready for the don't bring politics into my War Stars. Don't bring it. Star Wars has never been about politics.
Right.
Name me a time when Star Wars had politics involved. Quit pushing this agenda down my throat. Sorry, but that is what the average Twitter user sounds like, in my opinion.
That is true. So, yeah, that's going to do it for Question of the Week, episode number 11. That basically answers and encapsulates
politics.
Our thoughts on possible politics in Andor. Alex, let's now move into our third topic. And our third topic is about an announcement made Monday. And it is one of the weirdest things.
Yes.
It's not surprising. I will say it's weird, but it's not surprising. Okay. El Muerto, a Spider-Man spin-off movie. Coming to us
Yes.
January 12th of 2024. I assume this character will be in the same universe as Venom and Morbius and probably Craven as well. So, Alex, do you want to give some context on this character in the comics, if you can?
I think he has 2 total comic book appearances.
Correct.
Awesome. Now look, could Sony be putting this towards a Morbius 2 to redeem the first movie? Could they be putting this toward more production towards Venom 3? Maybe actually make that a more than a 6 out of 10 movie? Could they be putting that towards building up the budget of Kraven the Hunter? Could they be putting that towards the Into the Spider-Verse series of movies, which we'll talk about later? No. They are making these one-shot villains, these like big budget movies.
He's not even like a big. He's not even part of like Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery. I've literally seen people who read comics religiously say, "Yeah, I had no idea who this was at all."
Yes, same. I literally like the big general consensus was like literally, who the fuck is this guy? Like that. Who is he? My thing is this: is somebody was going through the Marvel comics. Some poor
Who did this? No, I don't mean to cut you off, but now they think of it. Who came up with this idea? Who came up with this idea, bro? Like, who came up with this idea?
Somebody was going through the Marvel Spider-Man archive, and they were like, "Yeah, we have Venom. We did Carnage. We're kind of done with the symbiotes. We'll see. We'll save that for Venom 3. We got a Craven movie. Morbius kind of flopped. Whatever. Gosh, come on, Sony. Come on, rest of the Sony execs. What kind of movie are you guys thinking about? Maybe we should like make the Amazing Spider-Man 3. El Muerto. You took the words right from my mouth. Who's that? You don't know who El Muerto is? The most iconic Spider-Man villain from that one comic book?
So, if I remember this correctly, I believe I read a little bit synopsis about him, and I don't know if you did.
Nope.
He's a wrestler, and like the mask he wears has some magical properties. And in order to get this other mask or something like that, he decides to fight another masked individual. So he decides to fight Spider-Man. J. Jonah Jameson helps set it up. Spider-Man shoots his webs out, and instead of like shooting his webs, it's like a poisonous dart.
What? Okay, I gotta be honest with you. I straight up thought you were gonna say Spider-Man shot him. Like, pulls a gun out and shoots him. I was gonna say, honestly, would have bought it. Would have bought it.
And then he gets helped by Spider-Man to go take down the actual mask guy he needs to take down, and that's how it ends.
I mean, yeah, that's...
They're going to make a whole movie about that. By the way, Spider-Man's not going to be in it, so you're kind of missing a big piece of...
Well, that's also kind of the problem with every Sonyverse movie right now. Spider-Verse movie is like, they're all missing Spider-Man. So,
right. Just like, well,
it's kind of like the character that kind of like ties them all together is the one who's not
absent. Just absent.
Not there.
Like, it's so funny, too. It's so funny. Like, Venom, I can understand. Like, having a Venom movie without Spider-Man. Morbius, okay. The Midnight Suns. But El Muerto, bro? El Muerto? Like, his two runs. El Muerto. He literally has 2 runs, and they both involve Spider-Man. Okay, they both have him in it. Bro, Sony has Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2099. They have so many things to go with. And they're like, El Muerto. Like, I don't understand what they are doing as a company. They saw Morbius flop, and they're like, let's double down on this Sony villain verse. Hell, I wouldn't have even mind a Vulture movie in that slot. a Vulture movie.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
But and then I don't know much. This is a pop star, I believe, who's playing him.
Bad Bunny. And you know why he is so excited to play him? Because he himself was a professional wrestler. He wrestled for the WWE at their biggest event, WrestleMania. And he did hold the WWE Championship for 24 days. The 24/7 title. Which you know the rules of the title, Drew? You can win 24, you can win it at any point during the day. Any point, any day. That's his big star accomplishment that he went into with this movie.
Okay, okay. He is also going to be the first Latino.
Something.
Yeah,
So-
it's a pretty big milestone. It's a pretty big step towards representation, obviously. But I don't think it's. I will say to be positive, positive vibes only. You could do a lot of things, I guess, because there's not a lot of source material, so you can kind of get creative with that, and maybe that's the way Sony wants to go. But from an intrigue factor so far, like, listen, I went and saw Morbius because the trailers at least look decent. I had some hope with it. I probably will not see this movie.
yeah, this is going to be an unfortunate another thing. Alex is not going to the movie to see.
I am not going to watch this.
Yeah, I am not going to waste my hard-earned money on a
movie tickets by then
yeah.
will probably be $12.50 per, like, or more than that, probably like $15 per person.
Which, by the way, I'm going to get my tickets for Multiverse of Madness in 2 days.
Next week, probably for me.
Yeah, I wanted to go Friday, but then nobody else in my party wanted to go with me, so on Friday. So then
you gotta go to college with me, man. That way we can prevent
go to
this.
Saturday. We can go Saturday.
Gotta go to college with me. That way we can prevent this.
Yes, let me go into your high level college that you got an amazing scholarship on. But I'll have to pay like $30,000 to go to potentially go to.
They'll just live near me. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, El Muerto, not really excited for it. The only slim glimmer of hope I have is that there's not a lot of source material, so you can do a lot with it. Do you think he's part of the Sinister Six? I really think he is. I think Sony's that dumb.
I mean, like, yes, like he has to be. Like, it's here's the thing, okay, and this is gonna sound bad. It's so bad. I honestly kind of want to see the movie to see how they pull it off. I want that. Like with Morbius, I'm sorry. I just knew it was gonna be bad.
Like with Morbius, I wouldn't say it was terrible. Like people who actually saw it would say to you it's mediocre. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's like mediocre. This I feel like it's just gonna be bad. Just knowing how Sony does superhero films, and then to do a superhero film with a superhero who has no general like audience as it is.
But the
not
other problem
good.
is like, it's again, he's not even like a well-known character.
It's not like he has a cool power set either. As a not well known. Am I just gonna see him wrestle? Like, is that?
If I wanted to see somebody fucking wrestle, I'd go watch WWE right now or All Elite Wrestling. Like, I would go watch that.
If you're gonna make him a member of the Sinister Six, you got to make him like have some magical abilities with that mask.
It's a thing. Like right now, why? Like, what is the point of these movies?
Watch this be the best comic book film of all time. Jeez.
I would cry. I would cry my eyes out for years.
Yeah.
Then we find out this is actually the best comic book movie of all time. No, it's not. We know it's
you got any final thoughts on this?
Sony's really milking that Marvel or that deal because I think isn't it they have to produce a certain amount of movies every year.
I don't know, but I know Feige. I don't know. I think Feige is shaking his head right now.
Kevin Feige is just like, holy shit, we did business with these people. Or no, more or less, he's going, Holy shit. These are the people that have the rights to probably one of the most popular characters of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, I just a very weird business decision. And this film's probably gonna do really poor financially. I hope it does well, but I'm very, very, very concerned with this film, and especially if this character is part of the Sinister Six. Why would he have a motivation to kill Spider-Man? I don't even want to get into that discussion. Um,
Spider-Man didn't help him in his wrestling match.
um, yeah. So let's now move into our final topic, and our final topic is going to revolve around Cinemacon and some of the highlights from there. So Cinemacon is an event where studios go, they present footage to certain people. Can't have your phone out. Some people get their phone out, tweet something out real quick after the show or during it. You do it during, it's big trouble. But let's talk about some of the news at Cinemacon or just some of the things that stood out for you. We'll start with Alex here. What stood out for you at Cinemacon so far?
Hold on, I have to pull up the exact thing because I don't remember what it was called.
Okay.
Tales of the Jedi, a series of animated anthology.
That wasn't at
shorts.
Cinemacon, but we'll let
Wait,
it pass.
yeah, oh wait, wasn't? Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Read,
It's fine.
read it wrong. I read it. Don't yell at me.
I didn't.
The Flash footage, the movie that's somehow still happening.
So yeah, General Zod is in it.
He's gonna kill Henry Cavill
As a baby.
Mm-hmm. That honestly is probably what Warner Bros. Wants in real life to happen. They probably want Henry Cavill dead. I do not endorse that message.
Another company.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Another company that doesn't know what they're doing. So I saw somebody talk about the fact that they were happy that there were elements of Zack Snyder's world in The Flash. The only reason they're in it is to destroy it.
They're just gonna get erased.
Sorry, guys. And then I really want to see how this line's executed, but Keaton says, let's get nuts. And I guess there's a lot of bat suits and stuff. I'm excited to see Keaton.
7 bat suits.
I really am. But again, probably not going to see this movie because I don't really want to support Ezra Miller.
Yeah. Sorry, bitch. Don't want to see your movie. You know what I will do to support this movie? I'll go watch some reviews of it on YouTube.
I still don't think it's going to happen. I kind of don't think it's going to come out.
Nope. I think they're going to do it. I think they're too far ahead to stop.
I should rephrase that. I hope it doesn't come out, but it's probably going to.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, I probably still will watch it. I'm just going to be straight up. Even though I probably shouldn't, probably still watch it. I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I honestly kind of feel the same way. I keep talking about how I'm not going to watch it. I probably am. Even though I don't want to do it. I don't want to support him fuck. I tried. I don't want to support Ezra Miller.
I agree.
Bro's a scumbag, so
yeah.
Not want to look. My ticket money better not go to him or them. Fuck. You know what?
I get it. It's tough. I get it. I know. Yeah, we've talked ad nauseum about their situation.
I give up. Hippovich is taking over. Is taking my spot.
Okay, Tarwet, thank you for joining us in place of Alex.
Hi. I don't have a pamphlet for that one.
Okay, I'm trying to stay focused. But yeah, the whole Zack Snyder thing too of just killing his universe is also upsetting. So let's get back to the good stuff. I wanted to talk to Tarwet.
Oh, okay, fine. You know what?
Okay, so we're back with Tarwet. Tarwet, what did you like from Cinemacon?
Hi.
Did you
I did not like that Rogue Squadrons was not on Disney's 2023 release slate.
So yeah, that's really interesting because people were also sent something that indicated that Disney was still releasing it in December of 2023, but like you were alluded to, Tawet, um, it
Hi.
was not on the screen at Cinemacon. So we've also talked a little bit about this. It's been a little bit since we have, but what do you think's going on there, Tawet?
That movie got fucking canceled.
Okay. I disagree. I still don't think even Disney knows what's happening with that film. You would think that production would have to start here in the summer at some point. So I expect us to get more information on Rogue Squadron by Celebration, maybe, but there's nothing on the docket at Celebration. The schedule came out today, so really concerned about that. We don't even know if Patty's still directing it. My gut tells me it doesn't happen. Tawet, I assume you agree.
Hi. I agree.
Okay. Tawet, what else do you want to talk about from CinemaCon? There's some other DC stuff. There's a couple Marvel comments that were interesting.
So, unfortunately, Across the Spider-Verse was delayed, but Beyond the Spider-Verse was announced. Coming out March 29, 2024.
You got really excited for that, Tawet. Do
Yeah.
you really like the original?
Yes.
Uh,
Top 10 comic book movie of all time. And I think Across the Spider-Verse is going to be even better.
So are you surprised that they announced the title to the third film, even though the second film got delayed?
No, because I think it makes sense that you go in, across, and beyond. Just like Mark Spector, he went in, across, and beyond. I don't even remember where we are. A mental sane asylum. Thingamabob ship. So, Miles Morales is going to go into, across, and beyond the multiverse, aka the Spider-Verse.
So an interesting theory I've seen with the announcement of the Spider-Verse is the fact that the Beyond indicates that he will then enter live action. Do you think that is the case?
Hi. Yes, I do. I believe Miles Morales is coming to the live action screens.
After Beyond the Spider-Verse.
I think even during Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay.
Maybe at the end of the cinema film. They should have just made a Disney Plus show.
Okay. Do you got any other thoughts on that story, Tawet?
Why aren't they coming out sooner?
They got delayed. Listen, I don't like delays as much as you, Tawet, but if they got to perfect it, take as much time as you need. Not too much time, but take as much time as you need, take as much time as you need, but still maintain a timely manner to perfect the film. Because I think the films are going to be fantastic. After the first one was a smash and success, Miles Morales is such an interesting character, and I believe also it was said that there's going to be like way more speaking roles in Into the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Do you think I'm in the movie?
I don't think so, Tom White. I'm sorry about that.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for the Spider-Verse talk. Some DC and Marvel stuff. You want to touch on that? I just dropped my AirPods. Go ahead, tell what.
Yes. Black Panther Wakanda Forever had footage apparently revealed, but I didn't get to see it.
Apparently, it was just some old footage or footage people had already seen, not necessarily from the movie. So,
honestly, disappointing. Just like Rogue Squadron.
Right, Rogue One was good though. Rogue Squadron disappointment. Now the DC stuff. There's some Black Adam and there's some Shazam news after Avatar 2 dropped its trailer. Shazam suddenly is now coming out 5 days later. What do you think about that news, Tawet?
Shazam. The first movie was so good, and now I don't know if Shazam: Fury of the Gods is going to be as good. I think they've shown that they're not ready for that movie to come out. They keep moving the date around. First it comes out earlier, then it gets delayed. What's going to happen? Am I in that movie?
I mean, you technically are a god, so maybe.
I am a god, bitch. I better be in that movie. If I'm not, the movie's going to get a 0 out of 10.
This is gonna be so weird edited. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Avatar 2 is gonna be a smash success. It does have a big fan base, but it'll come back into pop culture, I assume.
Oh my god. Are we talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender?
No, we're not. But yeah, I'm still excited for Shazam. I like the first one a lot. I think Fury of Gods is going to expand and build on that world. It got a lot more gods in it, correct? Am I right about that?
Yeah, I believe so. But I also believe I'm not in that movie either.
I apologize about that. You're going to have to talk to Warner Brothers Discovery about that.
They might cancel me.
Towet, is there anything else you would like to discuss from Cinemacon?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Nothing
Alex,
that comes to mind.
Alex, can you come back?
No, his scales didn't balance out. I'm gonna be taking over. If you don't mind.
No, Towet, I'm not terrified by that image of all of you.
Do my eyes look beautiful in this?
You look great. I mean, for a hippo, you look fantastic.
Do I smell good?
Hey, goddesses always smell good, so you know.
But I want an honest review.
Like a really honest review.
Oh my god! Oh my! Stop! Tawet, what just happened there?
I don't know. I recently started talking to this guy named Mark Spector, and he had two different identities, and I think
one of them is coming out of me.
I think I have a third one coming out now.
So last week we had the most productive discussion ever, and this week
we had the presence of
a god.
Goddess.
A god.
I
am a god.
Why do you feel like it's coming closer to me? Okay. That's gonna wrap up I almost said take 2. That's gonna wrap up Wars of the Stars, episode 66. Yes, I'm gonna have to post my conversation with Tawet. Wow, what an episode. Tawet, do you want to do the outro for us?
No, thank you.
Are you gonna at least say hi to me?
Hi.
Hi, Tawet.
Your skills did not balance.
Oh, okay. I gotta get going then. So as always, may the force be with you. May you stay burdened with glorious purpose and late as gatus.